I recently heard a really funny idea from somebody. They were telling a story about how they had been praying to God for a long time that they would grow in patience. They kept asking God. They said, God, help me to be more patient. I seem to be always lashing out, and I just seem to be irritable and grumpy and bitter, and I seem to always be taking it out, especially on the people I love the most. And boy, whenever has that been more important right now than to be good to the people around us, because we're stuck with many of them a lot longer and for longer periods of times than we're used to, right? And so this story I was hearing, this guy was saying how, I just need patience. God, give me patience. And he kept praying for patience. And then the other guy, who was another follower of Jesus, said to him, you know how I work on my patience? And the other guy said, how? How do you do it? And this follower of Jesus, he said, I intentionally drive in the slow lane in traffic. Instead of trying to weave my way through and find the car that's going faster than me or at the speed I prefer, like 5 to 10 miles over the speed limit, right? I intentionally find the person who's driving below the speed limit or is in the way, and I forcibly drive behind them so that I must learn the discipline of patience. I want to ask you right now as you watch this, as you're scrolling by and all your busyness, I just want to ask you real quick. I don't know how your life is going. I don't know what obstacles you're facing. I don't know what conflicts you have. But I bet you so many of us, more than ever before, are just dealing with people and relationship tension more than ever before. The people we live with, whether it's our spouses, whether it's our best friends and roommates, whether it is our moms and dads, we've moved back in with them. Maybe it's our children and our siblings. Whoever it is, whatever it is, you and I are more and more around relational, human life tension. And you and I can see that as an obstacle. Like, when will this end? When are we going to be able to return to normal, right? When are we going to have this quarantine so we can go run away from all these people we live with, right? Like, you and I are tempted to think that way. But I want to ask you, is it possible that the opportunity is right in front of us? Is it possible that our pathway to peace is in our conflict? I once heard somebody said who was doing great work in the Holy Lands, doing work in Israel and in Palestine and all over the Middle East. They were talking about being a peacemaker in a very turbulent area, an area of the world that's always known for hostility and conflict and violence and people that no matter what they do, they cannot get along. And I remember this guy, he was a speaker, and he said, all it means at the end of the day to be a peacemaker, to be someone who follows Jesus in the work of peacemaking, is to see conflict as opportunity. What if your path to peace is through your obstacle? What if your path to serenity, peace, a sense of belonging and hope, and returning to warm fuzzies again, or growing in patience, whatever you need right now, what if it isn't by avoiding or going around or your problem getting away, your person leaving? What if it's through that? I just want to encourage you right now, as I have been sheltering in place, and so many of you are, and so many of you have, and many of us are in days after days of this new life that we've been in. And I just want to challenge you, and I want to encourage you more than anything to see your conflict, to see them as opportunities right now, as a path for your peace. I want you to look at the people around you, and I want you to remember that they are not problems to manage. They're your family. They're the people that are with you, whether you like it or not, and they are the path that God is using to lead you to being like Jesus. And for those of us who are like, well, I didn't sign up for that. I don't know if I want that. I get it. It's challenging. It's frustrating. But there's an ancient proverb in the Bible, Proverbs chapter 10, verse 12. Hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers over all wrongs. You know, the longer you and I keep record of our wrongs, the longer you and I keep thinking in ourselves, building hatred for all the ways people and things aren't doing what we want them to do, it just stirs up conflict. All that unspoken, it's being put into the air in your house, at your workplace, with your roommates. And instead of just sitting and dwelling in that hatred, that anger, that negative environment, you and I can choose love. It says love covers over all wrongs. You and I have to make a deliberate decision to love people that are difficult, to love people that are challenging to us. It's a deliberate posture of our heart. It's not a warm, fuzzy feeling we get zapped with. It is, in fact, our choice to choose love anyways in the midst of disappointment and things not going our way. That's what helps us. So I just want to encourage you today. I don't want you to feel defeated. I want to give you the opportunity right now to take a second. In just the next few minutes remaining, would you take a minute and pause? Would you close your eyes right where you are? Take a deep breath with me. Slow yourself down just for a minute. Would you choose that with me? I know it feels weird. I know it feels uncomfortable. Maybe it's inconvenient right now. Choose it anyways. Take a deep breath. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Would you in this time put the person that you're in conflict with right at the front of your mind? Put that situation, that pain. Maybe some of us are caretakers right now and we can't do it anymore. We're overwhelmed. Maybe some of us have just been fighting and fighting and fighting. There's not enough patience God could give you to fix this conflict in your home. Whatever it is, put that at the front of your mind. And would you just imagine a path running through it? Use your mind right now. Slow down and see the path through it. See God, see peace, see love standing in the middle, at the center of that conflict, that tension, that person, that situation. And know that that's what God has for you. You and I can wish all sorts of things were going a different way, but God has that for you for a reason. Would you trust him in it? Would you choose to see God in it? And remember this, we're only just a few weeks out of what was Easter. I mean, can you believe Easter was just a few weeks ago? And a lot of times when Easter is on our mind, we think of Jesus rising from the dead and how magical and amazing that sounds. But the best proof of Jesus' tomb still being empty is how you and I, in the face of conflict, will see opportunity. How in the face of darkness, we will see light. We will choose to see the light. And in the face of hatred and anger and tension and pain, we will see love and choose love, trusting God to sustain us and meet us there. I hope you'll do that. I'm striving to do that, and I hope you'll do the same.